Rush Duel is a fast-paced spin-off game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where you can summon as many monsters as you want and draw up to 5 cards each turn. In this series, me and the TheDrAlex progress through each Rush Duel product release and build decks with whatever cards were available at that time. We have been drafting characters from the Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's anime and have exclusive access to those characters' boss monsters, and will continue to draft characters from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush series. Join us as we continue to battle it out in this series, Rush Duel Character Draft. Galactica of Eternity was released February 8th, 2025, and includes new support for Animagica, Delirium, Elemental Heroes, Gadgets, Magnet Warriors, Summon Skull, Cyberspice, Dice, and new synergies between Light and Dark Galaxy called Chaos Galaxy. It also introduces a new insect archetype, the Evasive Chaos Ninsects. Since I already have the dinosaur characters, I will receive Dynamajesty Dino, Dyna Kaiser. And since I drafted Animagica Leader, I will receive Animagica Shooter and Animagica Whip. Since I drafted Epoch, I will receive Dicemite Gaiame, Fire Lapse. Since I drafted the Magnet Warriors, I will also receive Beta the Magnet Cavalry. Since Alex drafted all of the insects, he will receive Delirium Rosalia, Evasive Chaos Ninsect Bewitching Flute Ageha, and Evasive Chaos Ninsect Crimson Blade Nanahoshi. Since Alex also drafted both Udius and Zuijo, he will receive Galactica Oblivion Arc, Variable Stellarizer, Voidveil Forbidden Requiem, Galactica Chaos Oblivion, Galactica Lost Oblivion, and Chaos Sentinel. Since Alex drafted the previous Summon Skull support, he will receive Summon Skull of Confusion. And since Alex drafted Varigelgia CPT, he will receive Wheatcloth Demeter Hot Pot. So this is the deck we're bringing to today's game. This is Animagica. So we don't have the English images done yet, so we're just going to have to cope with the Japanese text. But this is a pretty cool boss monster in Animagica Shooter. So we contribute summon this card in attack position by attributing 1 like attribute monster. During your main phase that you normal or special summon this card, change the battle position of 1 monster on your opponent's field, then you can destroy a face-up monster on your opponent's field with a level lower than this card. So this is kind of a theme with the Animagicas where we gain bonus effects, we get to do extra things if our level is higher. And the way that we kind of get to that is that a lot of our lower monsters have continuous effects that increase all beast monsters on our field level by 2. So if we get 2 of these continuous effects out, we're boosting it by 4, which is quite a lot. And then they also do things like give our monsters protection, don't let our opponents use trap cards when we summon beasts, and my favorite is Sorcerer, which is face up beast type monsters on your field gain 400 attack/defense, and they inflict piercing damage, which is really, really strong. So this deck in general is basically try and spam the field with a bunch of continuous effects, get your boss monsters out as cheap as you can, and Animagica Leader is also a really, really strong card in here because we can get back our continuous effects from the graveyard, and Animagica Leader will stop us from activating their effects, but because they're continuous it doesn't matter, so we will just gain extra value, which is really, really cool. Other than that, we do have a new trap card, which is pretty cool. This is Animagica Majesty. So when your opponent normal or special summons a monster, choose 1 face-up light attribute beast-type monster on your field, change up to 2 face-up monsters on your opponent's field with a lower level than the chosen monster to face-down defense position monster. So this card's pretty cool. This is basically like in archetype Shiny Shady with a few more requirements that we have to be a higher level, but we don't have to discard a card, which is pretty cool. So this is basically the list. We're feeling actually pretty good about this. In the side, we do have this weird little Meeg-chan package, which I think could work, but I don't know if we're actually going to bother bringing this in. I do like the idea of having like an OTK package that we could side in, but again, I'm not sure if we'll use it because we do want to try out the Animagica stuff today. But let's fire on in and see what Alex has got for us. Alright, so last week we had the Worm Fusion and the Scrapgate Field Spell versus the Skull Servants, and it was a little bit one-sided. I think Skull Servants is like a cool deck, but I feel like you kind of have to just get kind of lucky for it to work. Worm Fusion, again, not like a top-tier deck, but it's pretty good if your opponent doesn't have Destruction Immunity, and I think that's where the Worm Fusion deck really falls off, is if your opponent has just like, I can't be destroyed by card effects, you kind of sit there and go, how do I win the game now? But beyond that, well, we do now have a new set released, which is an interesting one. So looking through the set, there's not a ton of new decks, right? Like, there is sort of, but there's more like, oh, this deck gets 1 card, this deck gets 2 cards, this deck gets a singular card. So it's like, there will be some big shake-up here, but I'm for the most part expecting a lot of decks that we've seen recently anyway, with a couple of exceptions. Like, you're going to get the Chaos Galaxy stuff, which is pretty cool. But I think you could probably, again, stretch that to also doing pure Dark Galaxy and maybe doing a pure Light Galaxy deck. Like, there's probably a lot going on there. But there's also little things like there's like 1 Magnet Warrior, maybe there was a fusion. I can't remember if there was a spell trap to go with them. There was a like single Cyber Spice fusion monster, I think, as well. Like, there's just little things like that. So I guess, like, to try and predict, like, Chaos Galaxy is probably the shiny new toy. So I'm going to predict you're on that, and I don't know what you think I'm going to be on.
Animagica.
Animagica, okay. Animagica looks... I don't know how to summarize it. It doesn't look good in the sense that it doesn't look like it does everything a deck needs to do to be, like, super competitive. But, like, it looks like it does enough. I think some of the cards look okay. But
yeah.
But we'll get into the game, and then you can actually see what I'm on, and we can see what you're on. Let's jump on in.
Ooh.
Hey, all right, let's go first. I mean, realistically, it's turn 1. I don't think it's worth trying to get, like, overly aggressive. So I think we're just going to do this and then pass.
Okay.
Just a bunch of sets.
Well, I've got a bunch of normal summons.
Okay, so quite similar then by the look of things. But, see, this is the issue, right? Unless I have a bunch of Claymans, I'm just losing everything here.
Oh, I just jest. That's great.
It's not great for me. I lose my
Hey,
Animagica Garda. And Animagica Trader. And my Animagica Double Saber. That is a funny draw.
Pose like one of the X-Sabers?
Maybe. There's a lot of X-Sabers. Alright, behold my play. I normal summon the mighty Animagica Sorcerer. And to go with it, I will summon Animagica Sorcerer. And to go with it, I will summon Animagica Sorcerer.
Oh, shit.
I mean, it's what I drew. I'm going to set, and I think I'm just going to go to battle, and we'll just see if I can get through this. Imagine you just had Mirror Force, and I'll just be like, oh, okay.
That'd be nice.
But I can clear all of this at the very least, which is quite nice. And they're all level 10! Isn't that real cool? So I never actually explained what this does. It's continuous effect. Face-up beast monsters on my field gain 400 attack and defense. It says they're gaining defense, but they still only have 900 defense. And also they inflict piercing battle damage. Increase the level of face-up light attribute beast type monsters by 2. So they've all boosted up their attack, and they've all boosted up their level.
Well,
you can't hide from me, Alex. They are piercing. Oh my god. So, I kind of wanted to just sit on this, but with the hand I've drawn, I think it would be irresponsible to not play some of these cards. Alright, I will tribute my middle sorcerer to summon my Animagica Shooter. So you can tribute this card in attack position by tributing 1 light attribute monster. It doesn't have to be a beast, which is, you know, kind of nice, just any light. During your main phase that you normal special summon this card, change the battle position of 1 monster on your opponent's field. Then you can destroy a face-up monster on the opponent's field with a level lower than this card's. We can just go ahead and use it. Flip this up. And then, you know what? Yeah, I think I will destroy it. I don't see why I wouldn't. And then I think I am going to perform another tribute summon. And this time we are summoning out Animagica Whip. So this card is not as useful right now. It has a big defense value, but I can tribute this card in attack position by tributing a light monster again. I can place a beast monster from my graveyard on the bottom of my deck to make a face-up monster on your field, which obviously don't have any, with a level lower than this card, lose 2000 attack. So this is basically just to get this out of my hand for the most part. I would probably rather have just kept the second sorcerer, to be honest, but you know, when needs must. So we'll go to battle phase. I guess we'll attack with this. Let's see what you got. Okay, so far so good. We'll attack with this. I'm guessing this is where the back row is going to come out. Yep, that was pretty much expected.
Yeah.
And then this is probably going to die. Yeah, okay. And then that's all I've got, so...
A secret order.
Okay, I believe you don't have any engraved, so yeah, here he comes. So this guy's going to go back down to 25. If I keep shooter, I can just attack over it. If I keep whip, I can use whip's effect to attack over it. So I think this is fine. This is no longer fine. I want to take back my play. Okay. This is maybe still fine. I got greedy there. I wanted to hold the trap card for if you summoned out a second guy, especially since I know you do a lot of fusing. And I was like, well, if you get out your fusion monster, I want to hit that with this.
Not at the minute, though.
Okay, we get rid of the big attack. What's your back row then?
Oh, wait, I should have gotten rid of Sorcerer.
Actually, Sorcerer's the one that gives piercing.
And it increases your guy's level. The higher than mine.
Yes. I will reveal that did not matter. I had other ways to boost the level up.
Oh, okay.
I have a card in my hand that is like really awkward to use because it has a very specific effect that I feel like using it is actually going to be more detrimental, but I really want to get it out of my hand. So I'm in a bit of a weird spot here where I think I'm just going to have to summon one of these. The issue is I don't know what kind of back row you're going to be on. This is also going to be a fusion heavy deck, so you might not have many trap cards in general. I'm going to start by activating the effect of Whip. So by using Whip's effect, I will go ahead and put Sorcerer back in my deck and reduce this guy's attack. Then, I'm going to normal summon Double Saber. The Double Saber increases levels and makes it so you can activate trap cards when I normal or special summon beast monsters. So not like crazy, but like it's useful, right? We'll then go to battle. We will attempt to attack into this.
Yep.
And then we'll see how much defense we've got. Oh, that's a big defense.
Just enough.
Oh, okay. And then we'll pass on that. I had another play I could have made. Maybe it was better. I would have had lethal, but you know, the power of hindsight, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool stars. Send a light or dark galaxy monster from hand to grave, draw a card, and then treat as 2 tributes for specifically Oblivion or Requiem. Okay, so we filter. Now, if we want, we can treat it as 2 tributes. Right, this is the new card, right? Fusion summon level 9 galaxy type monster by sending 1 light attribute galaxy type monster and 1 dark attribute galaxy type monster from your hand and or field to the graveyard as material. Then if you sent 2 monsters whose total levels are 7 or higher to the graveyard, you can destroy 2 spell traps. Okay, so that second part just is irrelevant.
Indeed.
So Chaos Sentinel, 2600 attack. Continuous effect. During your opponent's turn, spell traps on your field cannot be returned to the hand, deck, or extra deck. See, this is the type of effect that we're starting to see a lot more of. Which is cool. I like that we have this sort of effect. I'm just wondering how we're going to power creep over this sort of effect.
Yeah.
Now, is that signaling something that you want to be able to activate cards when I summon monsters? Because it feels like it's signaling something. So you probably have Shady, would be my guess. And that's why you don't want me to have Saber. So if I summon out a guy, you flip it down, then I can flip the other one back up, but that won't be stuck face down. So I'll still only have a level 9 guy. I mean, I think I have to at least force you to do something. I don't think I get the luxury of not. So I will normal summon my Animagica Knight. So this one is face-up beast monsters cannot be destroyed by card effects. Alright, so there are the shady. We lose... oh, new start. That's a cool trap card. Yeah, so that one had to be flipped face down. So, I will... Tribute 2 and summon out my Animagica leader. Okay, so destroy that summon monster, then draw into your 5 cards in hand. Ooh, that draw is the scary part of that. Okay. That might be too much for me. Alright, we'll summon out Gardener. Okay, no delay makes me think I might be fine. So I'll tribute both and summon out the second leader. Then I can activate leader's effect. And I could bring back... I mean, how much attack are you on? 26. I guess I'm just going to bring these back. 1. 2.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm pretty sure you don't have anything, but...
Yeah, it's Universe Storm.
Oh, okay. I mean, so this was the weird card I have. So I had the Animagica leader, right? But I had a monster on the field, and it was a boss monster. So I was like, if I want to use leader's effect, I have to tribute my other boss monster to make the room, because you can only use leader if you summon exactly 2 monsters. So I was just sat there with 2 leader in hand, like, I don't want this hand, but it might be helpful later. It did end up working out here, but let's see what happens in game 2.
I'll go first.
Okie dokie. Okay, 1 card stuck in hand. That's like the average sort of brick that we see these days. We don't really get better than that typically. Alright, behold my play. I summon the mighty Animagica Knight. So face-up beast-type monsters on my field cannot be destroyed by your trap cards and increase the level of face-up light attribute beasts by 2. Then I summon forth the Sorcerer, who boosts everyone's attack and gives them piercing. And then I'll summon my Gardener, who I'm not going to use their effect, but it would let me send a card from my hand to the graveyard to send the top 3 cards of my deck to the graveyard, and then add a 7 or 8 light attribute beast type monster 1500 more defense from my graveyard to my hand. But I don't have any, and I don't want the gamble, so we're not going to do that. Instead, we're going to set 2. We'll go to battle. We'll try an attack over this. I probably should have saved this attack just in case, but I don't think you're going to have anything to stand up to these. Yeah, we're fine. So we're getting for a bit of damage. We've got all the cards out of our hand. It's not the hardest board to break, but it might do okay.
I've got nothing else to do, so...
Just don't be the big guy. Just don't be the... Okay, that's not the big guy. Okay. Oof. So during your opponent's turn, spell trap cards on your field cannot be returned to the deck. I think I have to do this, which it kind of sucks, because it's obviously a really, really powerful card that just completely gets rid of one of your things, but I don't think I could deal with that unless I just draw into something. I mean, that clears Sorcerer on its own. I guess I'm going to try and protect Sorcerer by flipping it down. So what does it specifically do? So I choose a face-up light attribute beast monster on my field, change up to 2 monsters with a lower level than it. So I guess we'll pick this and this. It's like in-arc type shady that doesn't require a discard, but also you have to have a level higher. We'll go for the graceful, see if we can find... Ugh. Not really what I was hoping for, if I'm being perfectly honest. I think you are pointless, and you are almost pointless. I think that might be the fastest I've ever resolved a graceful charity, you know? Where do we go from here? So, my Gardener's effect is only during the turn it summons. There's no reason to really sit on it. We will use our Overrush first. Put these 2 back. And, that one. Hopefully that was a good one. Then I'm going to tribute over my Gardener to summon out my Whip. And again, Whip's effect is only really useful if you have a face-up monster. So it's nice that it's here, but it's not crazy. We'll go to battle. So I know your guy's 0 defense. Oh, have we got nothing?
Yeah, GG.
Oh, is that exact lethal? Oh, okay. I was not expecting that.
Man, yep.
I mean, yeah, the traps were both broken, right? Like, absolutely. I assume you want to get game 3, because that was very, very quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully I won't
Also
sack you
not
quite
really.
as hard.
First.
Okie dokie.
So, sure.
Ooh, the aggressive rider. Okay, let's go with Card Trooper. I'll go ahead and use its effect. We will send 3. Oh, there goes my legend trap. And we'll draw a card. I will normal summon Animagica Witch. I'm going to activate the effect. And I'm going to reveal to you that I have a shooter in hand. Lets me draw a card, and then we can throw some cards back. Throw a card back. I think I'm going to put this back. Then I'm going to go ahead and activate my Animagica coin. So I can send a monster from my field to the graveyard, then I can add a level 7 or 8 light attribute beast type monster with 1500 or more defense from my graveyard to my hand. I cannot activate the effects of monsters whose original level is 6 or lower for the rest of the turn. So now I can grab back Leader. Then I'm going to set 1, set 2, tribute both to summon Leader. Then we can activate Leader's effect, which will bring back 2 cards from the grave. Now, the awkward thing is I can't use any of their effects, and I only have 1 continuous effect in the graveyard. So I'm not going to get, like, max value off this, which is not ideal, but it is what it is. So I'll get Animagica Witch out, because I can use her on the same turn, or on a later turn, not just the turn she's summoned. So we'll go to battle. We will attempt to attack over this. And now the issue is I know you have some 1300 butts. I'm just going to hope you don't have any. Okay, this one just won't be 1300. We'll pass.
No, they're both.
So we've got double enforcer. Universe
Get rid of
Storm.
this.
Listen, I really wanted that.
Let's use our graceful.
Okie dokie.
Get rid of this.
I'm assuming you must have... Wait a minute. I was going to say, you must have some bosses, and I just see what you've discarded. I assume there was no Chaos Galaxy Fusion then.
No.
So what does your guy do? We can place 2 light and or dark attribute Galaxy type monsters from your graveyard to the bottom of your deck to special summon Oblivion or Requiem from your graveyard in face down defense. Face down defense is awkward. I suppose you can fuse with it while it's face down. Okay, shooter comes down. Tribute for Requiem. Also effect.
Back. Hell Rider. Yeah.
Nice big 2500 butt.
I can't flip him up.
You cannot. As it was not a Duel Link skill that set it. Got the whole hand empty. We've got 2 bosses on the field. You can clear 2 of my monsters. I'm going to need a pretty good hand here, I think. The plus side is we don't take too much damage. And we did get to keep a guy. Okay. This hand has plays, but... let's see if we can actually get something a bit more concrete. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead. This is like so Gamba. It's so utterly Gamba. But like, I don't think I get a choice. So we're going to activate Jest. So now do we do the safer play? The problem is the safer play doesn't actually do anything, so I think I have to take the risk. So I'm going to discard these. And I don't think I can deal with the monsters. So as much as I really want to hit the back row, I think I have to deal with them. Okay, that at least gives us something we can do. So this is... when I normal or special summon beast monsters, you can't activate traps. So that's a really important one to just keep on the field. Oh, but I can't if I want to use your effect. Oh.
You've got another leader in hand.
Maybe! I need Leader's effect to resolve, but I can't... Saber doesn't do that, right? It's so weird. Do we just then just summon Leader and just screw the effect? That might be the play. I think it's definitely the safer option. So I'm just going to set these. We'll tribute these to summon out Leader. Can't use Leader's Effect. Go to battle, and then hope you don't have your Legend Trap. Take 2,900 or 2,500 even. Contemplate all of my life decisions that have led me to this point. The problem is this isn't a this isn't a turn it summoned effect, so I think I have to crash into it.
I can do this every turn, yeah.
Behold my 2,500 vanilla basically pass. Let's see. Can you beat it?
If you hadn't gotten rid of Chaos Enforcer, I could do something really funny.
Well, I want you to do something funny, but ideally not at my expense. Based on the fact you're calculating if you can kill me, I'm guessing you can out my 2,500.
Cool.
Okay, so discard, draw, and then treat as 2 tributes. Uh-oh.
Chaos Fusion.
Okay, so we're not summoning the big guy, just this guy again.
Secret Order. And Vortex Shooter.
Right, I appreciate this is lethal. I was really hoping we were going to see something other than Chaos Sentinel.
Yep. So was I.
Alright, well, goodbye Animagica Leader. Goodbye 2,600 life points. And then I guess I'll be going to the Shadow Realm, so... this was a disappointing series of games, and not because, like, the game quality was bad, just because... I don't know if you can build your deck in such a way that makes getting 2 bosses into your hand/field and destroying the unsearchable fusion spell, like, more consistent. I feel like it's so many big, chunky pieces that will have to fall into place. Now, maybe there is, like, a really cool way that I have no idea how to do that does make this deck more consistent, but, like, I can't see it myself. The deck's cool.
If I can get my graveyard set up, there's lots of different ways to get the boss monsters into my hand from the graveyard. But I can't do that against Red Deck Win.
Red Deck wins. To me, it's a weird thing, right? My deck actually is not very aggressive unless I get exactly the plus 400 piercing guy, right? If I get that one out, which is Sorcerer or something. Is it in my graveyard right now? I don't think it is. But if
I think it was Sorcerer.
If I get that one out that boosts them and gives them piercing, suddenly I become a bully. If I don't get that, like, a lot of my other cards aren't doing much. It's like, haha, you can't activate traps when I summon my monsters. It's like, how does that beat set 3 pass? Or like, haha, I can reduce your face-up monster's attack by 2,000. It's like, how does that beat set 3 pass? Or like, Animagica's Leader, I can swarm the board with guys. It's like, okay, you can do that, but if you don't have the one that gives piercing, how do you beat set 3 pass? So it's a bit like, it can be super aggressive, as we got to see in the first 2 games, but like we saw in this game, it also just can kind of fall flat. The Animagica deck is like, it's cool. I think I didn't realize how... So looking at the cards individually, I was like, I feel like there's stuff here you can do. I think the big card that I really underestimated here the most was Leader. Because I always knew that the 400 attack Piercer was always going to be good. I mean, you just read that, right? All your guys get 400 attack and Pierce. You know that's good. You don't have to, like, think twice about that.
Yeah.
Leader is a bit awkward, because you need to, again, have a bit of setup. There's no way to get it out, like, easier. Like, the other boss monsters all have that line of text that say you contribute 1 light monster to just get it out cheaper. You need to have 2 spaces. You need to have your graveyard set up. But they have cleverly made it so the new Animagica cards, at least most of them, are continuous effects. So you don't care about not being able to use their effects when you summon them. So you just summon out 2 guys, ideally, that give you some sort of protection or boost or pierce, and you get to go in with that. So I think Leader is actually, low-key, one of the better cards in this deck because of how the rest of the cards work. But saying that, I do also really like Shooter. Shooter being able to change one of your monster's battle position and then choose if I want to pop it. I think 99% of the time you pop the monster. I don't really think there's much reason not to. But the fact that you don't have to, I guess, does leave the book open for, like, if there are other little strategies you want to, like, apply there.
Yeah.
It's a cool deck. I do think it will probably need a bit of refinement. Like, I'm still not sure if I like Coin and Trader. I think they are decent, but I think I want to test with it a bit more before I actually, like, give it my stamp of approval. The only other thing I will say is I wasn't playing the equip spell, I think it's called Shield, because I didn't really like it. I think it's just 600 attack defense, increases level by 3, and it might give destruction prevention. And I was just like, I don't know if that's good enough. Like, I would have played it just to get the extra plus off of Trader, but if Trader gives you coin and shield, it sends itself to the graveyard. So I was like, I don't even need it. But that was the logic anyway. But yeah, overall, I think both of these decks are cool. I think it would have been cooler to see your other cool new fusion monster. How many new fusions did you get? I know that you have a pure Dark Galaxy one, I think, which is like pale.
Yeah.
I don't know if you were playing that or not.
2 for Oblivion. 3 for Chaos. We only saw the 1, and then there was a Void Velg contact fusion between Requiem and Pale Rider. I'm running a copy of.
I also assume you're not on Arc. Was it Galactica Oblivion Arc, or Arc Galactica Oblivion, whatever it's called?
No.
It's a weird card. I don't really like it, if I'm honest. But maybe there's something there. But,
yeah.
Thanks for the games, buddy. GG.
GG.